gone to phase 4.
And make
And I
sure you
keep
grab a
dying.
new KWL. Yes, it's new. That's the new
I
unit.
keep choking.
KWL, grab the cheat sheet.
And why does it
You're gonna
flash
need
cut do 3 damage?
it.
It doesn't really do 3 damage for it.
Thanks for stealing.
I mean, think about it. This is a better version.
It's black. And unless you're racist or Black History Month.
Because
I have the only other.
Alright, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you still, you can add. You can
So
still
I
add
declare
it
that as
on
a
the
total.
browser.
Yeah.
From browser. So there's a workaround.
I was gonna say.
But yeah.
What do you guys think language features are?
No, I gotta share ideas. So you might want to move.
Alright, now we're gonna go structure.
Because group work, we're gonna have different parts.
So I already had.
Go here, up here, over there.
I'm professional.
Peyton, you good? You need to go to the nurse? No, you sure? Okay. 30 seconds. Features of a form or type of text, structural language. What might you look for when you're analyzing a text? You good?
If it's a biology.
Language
or
features.
if it's-
You setting? Setting? Yeah, absolutely. Right, and also to go with the type of text. It's a narrative. Setting is a narrative. Yeah. I'm glad you pulled that out of the side real quick. What'd you guys get?
I feel like maybe dialogue or quotations from like or what type, like point of view.
Yeah, boom, those are all structural elements. And some of it overlaps to language and the type of text. Who's talking, right? Is it a character or a real person? Right? Or is it an interview where they take the research and put it in
At first I was like just meant different languages, like Spanish.
No, that would be something else entirely. But language when it's talking about reading a text, so word choices, end of language, point of view. Okay, 3 volunteers. Features of form or the type of text. What would you look for if you're reading a text closely? Key words. That can fit in all 3 categories. What very specific keywords are you referring to? Okay. Good, you better know by the end of this class. Keywords, who can help her out? You agree, disagree, want to add to it? If we're looking for to know what type of text it is, what are we going to look for? Yeah, absolutely. Remember at the beginning of the year we talked about all the different types of fiction and nonfiction text that you could possibly read in here? Yeah, we got to know specifically what type of text is it. And point of view perspective, that ties into structural elements. Right, how it's organized based on their opinion and their experience, and also as a language feature, to voice and viewpoint. Good, what else? Juliana? No? No is a word. What part of speech is it? Because it could be, right? You could use grammar, right? So out of that no, I could get something. Georgia. What are you guys talking about? Any of them. Feature, structure, language. When you're looking at reading a text, you gotta zoom in, right, and find these features. What is it that you're looking for? Yeah, well, give me an example of structural.
Find out if it's like a informative, like, oh my god, what's it called? In order.
Good,
Order of
absolutely. So the pacing, the chronological order, is it time order? Is it problem solution? Is it a narrative where it's a beginning and a middle and end? Absolutely. How it's organized. If it's a play, it's gonna have acts and scenes.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a novel, how's it structured?
Exactly.
Right, right. So it all depends on the type of text, right? And you have to be really specific on the type, right? Not just a speech, a political speech, right? Or whatever the speech is. Anybody else? Features, structure, language. We talked a lot about words, but give me some very specific words that you would use if you're reading a text and analyzing closely. What words are we talking about? Lexis, right? What are all the different types of lexis, right? Categories. Are we literally giving the meaning, right? Or is it figurative, right? We use our imagination. That is an effective analysis. So what we're going to do is, there's a couple of papers on the table, okay, where you're at. Yeah. So, we need two. You need the booklet, right? Because there's some questions that we're going to annotate. And then there's a list of questions depending on your role. But everybody needs one of each at your table. There is a stack on all your tables. Make sure everyone at your table gets. Sensitive. This is critical period. You have the text in front of you too. Same thing. You can help each other, right? Yeah, it literally is a scavenger hunt of the cheat sheet. Yeah.
Item entry count.
You get a second attempt. Yes, but we gotta add something else. Oh my gosh, it's doing this. Reading and writing and.
That's so stupid.
Make sure you're doing this. Doodles should be related to this. Form, right? Label form, structure, language. I know you don't want to, but. Same text. What is the name of the text genre? Close, they go together, right? What type of text is it? And then the subcategories would be the genre. Yeah. So you're not entirely wrong. Just talked about that. List of three, rule of three, repetition, what kind of devices are those?
Just put on.
I didn't click.
Okay, so now we actually have to look at, so pause, side conversation. Thank you for your scavenger hunt. We're going to use it again. You're going to constantly use this when you're analyzing a text, especially for question 2. Okay? For paper 1 reading, there are 3 sections. There's 1A, 1B, and question number 2. Like I said, question number 2, it tells you right here. These are copies of old past papers. I'll give you different ones moving forward depending on the years, right? Just so you can kind of see, they swap out different types of text, so we really have to know all of them, okay? But with your text analysis, question 2, okay, you have to read the question brief, okay? You have to read the directions, right? They give you a little bit of background information, right? They already set up form, structure, and language for you because they tell you, analyze the text, focusing on form, structure, and language. Okay? When you have to read, how many times do you need to read it? 2, right? What do you do the first time? Skim is the first time. Skim through it, right? You might get the gist, right? The who and what is it about? Okay? The second time, what do we do? Scan. You're looking for very specific elements, conventions, aspects of that text. Especially it tells you in a text analysis that you have to analyze the form, the structure, and the language. So hopefully that scavenger hunt kind of got you reminded of all those chapters we've been talking about since the beginning of the year. Okay? Context, audience, purpose, voice and viewpoint. Okay? Language. Right? We spent a lot of time building on that. We've done a lot of directed responses, which those are easy, only take you a few minutes. However, this is going to take you a long time. Right? And you only got 2 hours and 15 minutes for the whole test. This portion, it's 62 minutes. I mean, if you could shave some time off with your shorter writing, use it for this. Okay? So before we get into the group work, you gotta read it 2 times. I'm gonna time you for 10 minutes. That is all you can use to read. Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes goes fast if you take 30 minutes to read. You see what I mean? 10 minutes, skim and scan, right? If you start to notice things, mark it up. As you're reading the first time, you know you're not reading for entertainment, right? You're reading to find information fast and be able to break it down in detail, right? To show that you know a sophisticated understanding of the text, right? It just means complex. Okay, so I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. You gotta read the text, top to bottom. Question brief, plus the text, and then read it again the second time, start looking, right, scanning. What stands out to you that's striking? 6 to 8 things is the goal. Okay? But we'll work through, right, form, structure, and language in our groups. Okay? You ready? Everybody has question 2. Need the question booklet. I know it all looks the same. Flip over to question 2, that's where you should be. Question 2. Next page. We're only looking at question 2. It said that's the text analysis. So 10 minutes on your own, right? To yourself, right? Because when you're in a testing room, you can't read out loud and you can't talk to anyone. You gotta do it all on your own. So 10 minutes, read it twice. Skim, scan, and plan if you can. If you want to move back over here, you gotta be reading. statistics. Let's make one up right now. So where's the information? Oh, fact check you. All right, that's our time. So now what you're gonna do is that paper that has all the different questions on it. You're not doing all of them, so you're welcome. But what you do need to do at the tables that you have right now, so Aiden, you're gonna have to come back and join. Because there are 7 roles, okay? If you do an extra one, I'll give you extra credit, okay? So look at your questions, decide in your group. Group 1 is this table, 1 and 2. Group 3 is a group, and 4 and 5 here, right? You guys are all a group. So look at the questions, choose the ones you think that you can do, right? But you need to divvy it up. There's 7. I took out the checker because it doesn't apply to this text, right? Because you can use this for any kind of text. So decide if you're a project manager, facilitator, motivator, devil's advocate, timekeeper, recorder, and prioritizer. So the questions will tell you right next to them. So you got about 2 or 3 questions apiece. Okay? Decide on your groups, who's doing what. Make sure you put your name on your paper and put your name by your role. Circle it, highlight it, star it, just make sure I know. If you have more than one, because if you don't have 7 people in your group, right, it might be a little bit harder. So decide. Aiden, you're part of 3, so you guys all gotta decide. You guys all have to decide.
What's the
Look at the question. What's in there? They're labeled. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna do the whole thing yourself? Okay, handle your scandal. Decide. If you do it on your own, you have to do them all. So it's easy if you break them apart. So I'll give you a minute to decide what your roles are. Yep. Look at the questions. It tells you what the role is. If you want to do it yourself, it's fine. You don't have to do it all. The whole point is to divide it. Yeah, Pop was a hard one because she left us. I don't know. It's up to you. For me, I don't know. They're all kind of easy. But I'm an English major, so. That quiz is paused, so we have to go through
Timekeepers
this
taking.
text.
You teach the questions or
Same thing that you marked over here.
Reader impact and
We'll go
motivator.
through each session. There's no breakdown for one
No, we'll get back to you. Jane, what do you want? Timekeepers are.
Everybody have their roles? You know what questions you're
It's
doing.
this, third one. It's on the second page.
You don't have to worry about the checker. It doesn't apply here because there's no locations that are incorporated.
Oh, she did?
I guess that leaves me with I guess that leaves me
Oh, yeah. So smart, so clever.
I'll give you
I'm gonna have to keep that one.
Everybody have their roles? You don't have to rush to fill it out. So, now what you need to do, because technically, all these questions plus side conversations, technically, all these questions you have are different paragraphs you would turn into a text analysis. So technically, you have about 6 or 7 minutes to do each paragraph. If you only got 60 minutes, then you need, right, about 8 to 10 paragraphs. So think about it. So I'm going to time you and see where you're at. I know some of you already started. If you have more than one role, make sure you put your name on that so that I know to give you extra credit. Because there's 7 roles and not all of your groups have 7. Oh, so we have to like, yeah. Okay.
I seriously.
So I'm going to give you 6 minutes. The dictionary definition or figurative.
What is that?
So things that she should have said, but she didn't. I mean, she was pretty out right? Huh? Yeah. She could have, right? Because she's like, you lied. I mean, she's pretty straightforward. But what are some of the things she didn't say to British Parliament that she kind of, they already know? Because she's kind of forward, but what's some subtle things that she have said? But that she, some things are better left unsaid. What order?
You gave up more.
Because that's what everybody else did. They turned it in, and they revised and edited, and they sat down. So you could always see me first half of lunch next week, because tomorrow I'll be in the block box. Or I'm here after school. If we could do it tomorrow. I thought it was gonna be today.
That's the one that covered that.
No, but no, I know you don't, because that's why I don't listen to
You don't have to do that one. That's why I took out the checker out of there, because it doesn't apply to this.
Which one?
Yeah, you can just cross those out. Yeah, terms correctly used, yeah.
the burning group.
All right, that's time. How do you feel now about what is a text analysis? Sorry. Yeah, so a text analysis plus side conversations, 600 to 900 words. Okay, so it's not that hard because if you look at it, right? Let's now look at it as a whole, right? You have the definitions, right? And then you have examples of what to look for. So that's why I said this is your cheat sheet that you want to make sure that you use. So stop writing, right? Let's look at this form. So when I ask you to comment on form, okay? What type of text did they ask you to read? It's a speech, right? So you can already right out the gate talk about the type of text. How do you know it? Right? Well, it tells us. Right? Then you can talk about, however, when we talk about purpose, because that's the other part on it, cause side conversations, purpose, they always want you to see two. What's the main one in a speech? Persuasive. But what's the second? Informational. You always have to show two, a primary and a secondary purpose. Provide examples and explain in your own words. What does it mean? Right? Textbook definition. How do you see it here? Okay? So you already have 3 paragraphs, right? It also says audience. Who's the audience of the text? Who is the speech written for? Tells you in the question brief. Who is she speaking to? British Parliament, right? So we know who the target audience is. Boom, that's your 4th paragraph. You see how easy it is? You already have 4 paragraphs. 600 to 900 words is not going to be hard because you got 4 paragraphs right out the gate with form. What type of text is it? Right? What's the genre? What's the purpose? 2. And audience. Who's the intended audience? Add your examples, explain in your own words what it means. Right? Look at structure. Organization of the text. These are the things to look for. Paragraphs. Sentence lengths. Remember we talked all about that with the language chapters. Okay? How do the paragraphs start? How do they end? Especially in a speech. You know you're going to introduce yourself. and then you're gonna close it, right, with a closing argument. So that's one way to talk about structure. That's paragraph 5. You see what I mean? It's not that hard. 6, is there a change in focus? Does she change her ideas or her thoughts? She doesn't use that one, use the next one. Is there a change in tempo? Does she speed up? Does she slow down? Well, you have to pay attention to the sentence lengths, right? The paragraph lengths. Does she change in tense? So, right, present tense and future, yes she does, right? So it's a little bit of flash forwarding, which again is another way to organize a text, okay? So now we're at 6 paragraphs, right? PQCs we'll talk about. Rhythm, especially in speeches. How does she create rhythm? How does she create movement and pacing? Is my microphone on?
Yeah.
Did you hear me? I hope it was on, right? Those rhetorical questions, that's pacing. 7 paragraphs. Now look at perspective and voice. What point of view is she speaking in? Where does she stand on the issue of the environment? How many paragraphs are we at now? I was like, can I not count? Right? And they talk about repetition or a list of 3. You can find examples of that too. It's still structural. Right? Like I said, this cheat sheet is going to be your lifesaver because this is how you're going to be able to organize it, make sure that you talk about everything you need to talk about. Okay? So now you're at 9 paragraphs. And we haven't even gotten to language. We haven't even talked about the words yet. Right? Lexis, figurative language, imagery, register. Right? So the word choices, tone and mood that we've been talking about all year. 1 paragraph, now we're at 9 on tone. 10, we can talk about mood. If she uses figurative language, now I don't have any more hands to count on. Right? 11 paragraphs. It's not that hard, right? So everybody stresses, oh my God, 600, 900 words. That's a lot. It's not, because you're going to break down all those aspects and write about it.